Welcome to the 2019-2020 school year. My name is Mr. Gilham, and this is the welcome slides for the 8th grade ELA in history. This is for my homeroom as well as Mr. Cleland's homeroom, as I will see both sets of students, although there's a little bit of information that will be just for my homeroom. A little bit about myself. This is my 4th year teaching at Great Valley Academy, Salida. Before that, I did 2 years as a substitute. I graduated from CSU Stanislaus with a degree in business administration for my undergrad, and then did my teaching credential through CSU Stan as well. I'm a Navy veteran. I served aboard the USS Albuquerque, which is a submarine, as a nuclear mechanic, and I really enjoy cooking and baking, along with other things. You'll see this little picture that says Fish Pig over here. It was a nickname I acquired in boot camp because of Gilham, and so I do allow students to call me Mr. Fish Pig or Mr. G, as long as it's done respectfully. Here's just a little picture of my family. My daughter is 4 years old. She has one more year before she's going to start school. She'll go to Modesto GVA. My wife teaches over there in their 1st and 2nd grade loop. There are a couple ways to contact me. The primary one will be through Parent Square. If you're not already set up, please contact Amber Barney in the front office. She can get you in there. Second is email. It's b.gilham@greatvalleyacademy.com. Again, I said my wife works at the Modesto site, so just make sure it's b.gilham and not g.gilham. Alternate ways, here's the web address for our class website. Currently, there's not a lot on there, but we will take a look at it here in a second. And then I do push everything out through Google Classroom. So those are the main ways you can also speak to me in person. I'm at school most mornings before school, and I can meet after school if I know that you need to meet. I just need a couple days notice, so that way I can arrange pickup for my daughter. School hours are Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30. Friday, it's 8:30 to 12. In the event of absences, planned or otherwise, please contact Elena in the front office. You can reach her through the office phone number or salida.attendance@greatvalleyacademy.com. The big one for junior high, independent studies. So 3-day minimum. We can't do an independent study for 1 or 2 days. Also, we ask that the form is filled out at least 2 weeks in advance before the trip or the need. And this is the big one. Even though students are 8th graders, we still have to have parents come and bring the form to all 3 of the core teachers. So for this class, it'll be Mr. Avalos, Mr. Cleland, and myself. And that's for my homeroom and Mr. Cleland's homeroom. It helps if you email us just the day beforehand, say, hey, I'm going to be on campus. That way we all know that we need to be available either before school or after school. Yeah, parents have to bring the form around to be signed. GVA uniforms. As you all know, GVA is a uniform school. So here are just some of the key points. Shoes need to be athletic with Velcro or lace closures. As of right now, I know that some now 8th graders were working. They had made a proposal for the board to get the slip-on Vans approved. I don't know where we are with that process, but as of right now, how the policy is written, needs to be Velcro or lace closures. Pants, skirts, shorts all need to be khakis with no external pockets, so they need to be internal, so no cargo pockets. Maroon polos with the GVA logo, or white shirts, white button-downs with the GVA logo. And all of the uniform things need to be in good repair. So if they're torn, they have holes in them, things like that, stained, we need to work to get other uniform pieces. Let's see, socks, undershirts, leggings all need to be solid GVA green, black, white, navy blue, or gray. And I believe for junior hires, maroon works as well. I will triple check on that one. With the socks, if they're visible, that's what we're looking for, no pun intended. But if they're ankle socks that stop before the shoe, that's fine. It's not a big deal. One of the issues that we've seen is that students will wear pants thinking they can wear whatever crazy socks they want, and then either hike their pants up or something like that, and then the socks become visible. Junior high teachers are not going to be standing at the doorway doing a visual inspection to make sure everyone is in uniform all the time. But if we are aware of an issue, we have to call students on it. So that's where we're at. We're not hunting for issues, but if we see them, we've got to call them. So it might be an issue where someone has slid by with slip on bans for 3 days, and on the fourth day they get caught. It's not that they were okay the first 3 days and we changed our mind on the fourth day. We didn't notice. So we hope that we don't have to worry about that, but just that's where we're coming from. And again, that's a school-wide policy that's not specific to junior high. Make sure that no non-GVA sweatshirts are worn in class. There was a little slide on where we can get them. Birthday celebrations. We celebrate at the end of the month. There'll be a sign up every month to bring some stuff. We just need to make sure that they're healthy. Can't have cupcakes and sugary stuff. There will be some options. When we have the list of everyone's allergies, I'll make that available. And any students who have a birthday during the summer will just celebrate on their half birthday. But this way we can kind of celebrate all at once. And then families who might not be able to bring stuff in, it's a little bit of less of a burden. And then we can have a bigger celebration than just a birthday treat whenever there's a student whose birthday. So again, that'll be posted in Parent Square. This last little bit, it's more for the younger kids, but they asked that we put it out there. If invitations are going to be passed out for birthday party on campus, it needs to be for everyone in the class. Otherwise, send an Evite or pass them out after school once everyone's off campus, something like that. But if it's on campus, it needs to be for everyone in class. Our year at a glance. So this is a real brief list, but it's just some of the stuff we're going to be covering. Trimester 1 will be focusing on narrative writing. There's 3 separate projects. One deals with Lost Calling of Roanoke. One, students are going to be creating a personal narrative about their lives, and then one, students will be working to create a choose your own adventure with some basic coding and flow charts. We'll be looking at Johnny Tremain and Sleepy Hollow. Those are novel studies. We'll be in collections 1 and 2 of our ELA text, and then we'll be pre-colonial period through the Revolution in our history content. We continue with Roots Up this year, so we'll be in Roots 1 through 36 of the second book, and we have Jogathon coming up on November 1st. Our second trimester, we're going to be looking at informative writing. Our novel studies will be A Christmas Carol, and we'll be doing a couple different book clubs during the second trimester, and then we'll be in collections 4 and 5 of the ELA text. We'll be looking at the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and we'll start looking at westward expansion. We do a large Oregon Trail game, and then it might be at the end of the second trimester, beginning of third trimester. Third trimester, we're looking at persuasive writing. Every student's going to write a graduation speech, but not every student needs to give one. We'll be talking about that as we get closer. We might be looking at The Giver. We definitely will be looking at Tuck Everlasting. We'll be finishing up the collections work. We'll look at the Civil War, Reconstruction, and the Industrial Revolution in history, and then we'll finish up Greek and Latin roots. And then there's also the DC trip, high school letters, graduation, and Great America. So that last trimester, there's a lot packed in there, but we're hoping to finish strong with this last trimester that these students have at GVA. There'll be quite a few different ways to get yourself involved in class if you would like to. Most of them will come through Parent Square or the class website. We'll have individual events. We've got the birthday brunch every month. We have 2 big parties that we'll do through the year, one closer to Christmas, one towards the end of the year. We're also going to be looking for people to bring in their personal expertise and how it kind of dovetails with the history content or what we're doing. We will be looking for some classroom parent stuff to kind of deal with graduation breakfast, as well as the 8th grade gift. Every year with Jogathon, they take a portion of the money that is brought in by 8th graders, and a gift is purchased for the school. So students will kind of come up with what they would like, but we will need a parent to spearhead kind of getting that together after Jogathon and kind of getting going from there. And again, this list is not exhaustive. There will probably be quite a few opportunities to get involved. We do need to make sure, though, that any parent who's in class or on a chaperone is cleared with both their TB test as well as their fingerprints. And if you don't know if you're cleared, you can contact the office to find out if you're kind of on the approved list. I have 3 classroom rules, but they're overarching. Be respectful, be responsible, and be kind. I do ask that all students come with 2 writing tools per day, as we write every day. I ask that students participate, they stay on task, and they're respectful of themselves and others. I find that the big rules kind of cover everything. We don't need to worry about all of the minutia. although the students will be going through different classroom policies this week, just figuring out how the classes run. Okay, the scary part, moving on to high school. I wish I could tell you there's one specific thing that you will need to do regardless of what high school your students will be going to, but each high school that our students go to asks for something different. So what I recommend is early and often contact them to find out what paperwork, what kind of documentation you might need for a high school placement. The issue we tend to run into every year is that we'll get some last minute requests right as we're finishing up report cards in the second trimester, and we just can't meet those requests. So people go without the paperwork because they just, the school springs it on them and say, hey, we need this next week, and then we find out, but we're in the middle of doing something else. We do ask for a minimum of 2 weeks notice on any paperwork that you need, so that way we can pull all the documentation together that you need. And then we can get you paperwork, we can send it over to the school, but just, again, find out what specifically your school will need for placement, and then you can contact us and we can work on a plan to get all of that stuff for you. I have this form that I've created a few years back. It's called a grade equivalency form, but it explains our mastery grading and why that number does not necessarily represent a standard grade, but there is a way that I can show that standard grade. And so I've got this chart. I fill it in based off of what a traditional class would grade for work, and then I can give that letter grade. Any questions, feel free to contact me. You can reach me again through Parent Square or that email. We're going to quickly transition over to the website. There's not a lot of information on this right now, but it's an opportunity just for you to see it and see the information that will be on there. Again, as the year progresses, we'll put more and more on there. So we've got just, a brief welcome. We'll go through this. There's a section all about me, which we'll just kind of quickly gloss over. We will have some information for upcoming dates. Right now, there's nothing in there. The calendar will go in there soon. Important forms. There are a few things here. We've got a request to retest. There's some of the tests we'll be able to retest if students don't do particularly well in. Chromebook issues for students is if their Chromebook has some kind of technical issue, we can log it and make sure it gets fixed. Down in the bottom left corner here, we see the syllabus. Paper copies went home on back to school night, and more copies will go home on Tuesday. And then the last thing is the personal technology contract in the bottom right. And again, that contract is just for students who want to be able to use their personal devices. It's not a requirement of the class. But if students want to use their phone, their laptop, their e-reader, that's what they'll do. Class projects, we'll have, we'll put there, so all of the video links. Wish list, we do have a classroom Amazon list with a few other items on there that we're kind of constantly seeking. And then the last tab here is all about some just important links. And right now, the only thing that is there is Parent Square and Google Classroom. But as we get more websites with our specific classes, but that's sorry, as we get more websites, we'll make sure the links get put in there. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm not sure if I said this during the birthday portion. That's really just for my homeroom. Mr. Cleland's class will be doing something in his homeroom for birthdays, and I'm sure he'll work that out. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing everyone on Tuesday.